What's up everybody and welcome back to my channel. I know I sound like shit right now, but the flu has gotten to me this weekend and unfortunately I just haven't been able to film like the beast I normally am. And rather than not putting up anything this week, I wanted to make sure I got in at least a couple of videos for you guys to watch. I am going to take some time this week to really recuperate, let my immune system sort of take over and kick this flu's ass, and hopefully I will be back in full force for next week. And now that that is out of the way, I thought I would do a bit of a foundation review today. As you guys know, these are some of my favorite videos to film because I always love trying to find a great foundation that is gonna work with my very complicated skin. Y'all know I have to deal with texture, large pores, redness, mild rosacea, there's acne and acne scarring, some hyperpigmentation, oiliness. There's just a lot of shiznit going on. And that's the reason why I'm always on the hunt for a great foundation, and normally a foundation that is affordable. As you guys can tell from my recent uploads, I have been playing with a lot of drugstore products lately, and I've sort of stepped away from Sephora for a little bit just because I don't really have the money to be spending in Sephora, especially when I can make a dollar stretch a lot more in the drugstore. When I was browsing the drugstore, so Shoppers Drug Mart in particular where I'm at, I found a new brand that was recently released. This is one of those sort of mid-tier brands, so it's not quite super expensive, but it's also definitely not on the cheap side. I think some of their stuff is overpriced though, to be honest. I was really curious about this one, and the first time I encountered this brand, it was actually with this contouring palette right here, which I have been using non-stop since I bought because I love the way the powders feel and the way they apply to my face. But I saw the expanded line finally release, but I did pick up one foundation and one concealer to try. The brand that I'm talking about is called Nude by Nature. This is an Australian brand, but funny enough, this foundation in particular is made in Canada. I love anything made in Canada. Like me! That was such a bad joke. So this foundation here is called the Flawless New Liquid Foundation. Let's see what some of the claims are. It says the Flawless Liquid Foundation instantly provides a smooth and flawless finish, but looks and feels like second skin thanks to natural pigments that act in a seamless affinity with the complexion. The oil-free and fragrance-free formula is buildable from a medium to a flawless coverage, is long-wearing, and gives the skin an even satin matte finish. It's formulated with good-for-you natural ingredients, including bamboo powder for a soft focus effect, baobab fruit extract, and the antioxidant-rich Australian native kakadu plum and lily pilly to improve the appearance of the skin. I swear to God, sometimes when I read these ingredients, I feel like people just make shit up. Lily pilly, is that seriously the name of an ingredient? I'm gonna assume it's something botanical, but lily pilly, for real? Anyways, for this foundation, I picked up the shade N3 Almond. This packaging though is pretty nice. You do get fingerprints on it, so just, you know, note that, but I love the rose gold cap. It says Nude by Nature here. You've got frosted glass down here, which I'm a fan of, and then a gorgeous pump. Thank you, baby Jesus. I would certainly be happy to have this displayed on my vanity. It just looks really sharp. My face is primed, moisturized, and ready to go. I'm just gonna stick my hair up here, zoom you in, and we're gonna slap this on my face. Like with all of my foundations, I'm gonna be using a beauty blender to apply this. I'm going to squeeze some out. It actually does feel pretty thick, which means, or at least I hope it's gonna mean, it's full coverage and it is matte. Just gonna take some onto the back here and start blending away. y'all seeing what I'm seeing? This foundation sucks. The minute I apply it to my skin, it just moves right away. It doesn't want to stay in place, which is crazy. I've never had this happen. It's just sitting on top of my skin. It hasn't even melted in. It hasn't covered anything either. Medium coverage, my ass. This is a piece of shit. I'm gonna try something a little bit different. Maybe it's the beauty blender that's just absorbing all of the product and not really doing me any favors. So I'm gonna take my Sigma Flat Kabuki F80 brush and I'm gonna try applying it using this, and hopefully that's what makes a difference. This foundation has to be on par with the L'Oreal Infallible Total Coverage Foundation. It was in my Worst of Beauty video for 2017. This is a horrible foundation. It sucks the big one. Honestly, it's just sitting on top of my skin, accentuating all of my dry patches. It has done next to nothing in terms of coverage, although I will say it did apply better with a brush than it did with the sponge. It seems like the sponge just absorbed all of the product and just would not spread out and blend on my face. I'm gonna zoom you guys in so you can actually see how splotchy it also looks. I just spent 15 minutes blending this foundation out. What you're seeing on the screen is me fast forwarding because I'm sure you don't want to sit there and watch me blend foundation for 15 minutes. But the more I played with it, the streakier this product got. There was no saving it. I've tried to bring you in as close as possible so you guys can see what the foundation is looking like. My eyes are shifting to the side so I can see what's going on in my viewfinder to make sure I'm in focus. But can you guys see just how splotchy everything is looking, and just how this foundation is not blending? You can definitely see it on my upper lip here, and also the side of my face here where it's just clung to dry patches. The foundation is just sitting on top of my skin. My nose looks absolutely horrid. I haven't seen it look this bad in a long time. And again, the forehead is just super streaky and it's not looking good. Not looking good. I also picked up one of their stick concealers. They did have a liquid concealer that came in a tube, but when I swatched that on the back of my hand, it just looked really thick and cakey. I didn't like it, and the girl at the counter said I would actually prefer the stick because it had more coverage and it looked less cakey. Well, my face is already looking like a pile of crap, so why not throw on some more crap and see what happens? I know I shouldn't judge the concealer yet, but this one does come in a small rose gold tube. You take off the lid and you've got a bunch of product in here. I'm going to try to blend this out with my fingers initially and then go in with a sponge. See if that will work this time around. Who knows? This is definitely more light coverage. And there is the concealer. I still feel like the concealer is just sitting on top of my skin. Now this could be because of the foundation and how crappy it looks underneath. I'm not feeling the concealer either, although it did blend out okay with a finger, although I did get a couple of splotchy patches, so the product was shifting quite a bit, but it's actually blending out okay with a sponge, but only if you tap it really, really lightly. And I'd probably say this is more of a medium coverage concealer. This is definitely not full coverage, at least what I'm seeing right now. Hopefully this is translating on camera and you guys can see just how much of a spotlight both of these products have just put on my pores. Like, hello, welcome to all of the craters on Dimitra's face. I hate that it's accentuating all of my texture, all of my dry patches. I mean, this just looks bad. If I step away from my mirror and I push it back a little bit and I try to look at myself, it doesn't look bad. But up close, it's a real nasty looking mess. I haven't had this concealer on for more than a few minutes and I can already tell it's creasing. So I'm gonna grab what I know works really well, which is this contouring powder over here. I'm gonna take this banana yellow color and just set my under eye really quick. I've just finished setting my under eye. Hopefully there will be no more creasing from now on. Honestly guys, I don't know if I can keep this foundation on for a full wear test. I have other videos to film and I don't want to be on camera looking like a pile of garbage, which is exactly how I feel right now. Since I hate the way this foundation and concealer are both wearing, I'm not going to be doing a full face of makeup because I don't want to have this on for that long, to be honest with you. So what I'm going to do is just powder it down like I normally do and just leave my face at that. And then I'm just going to come back on here, do a check-in, and kind of see where things are at that point. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. Alright guys, here I am with I think what's going to be the first and final check-in because I really want to take this foundation off of my face. I feel like it just looks horrible. There has been no significant improvement. So what I'm going to do is zoom you in so you guys can sort of see what I'm seeing. And I did switch to my vlog camera, so hopefully this is going to give you a really intimate experience of my face. There is what it looks like on my forehead. And then hopefully this is really going to show you how it's looking around my eyes and my cheeks. You can see that the concealer is definitely creasing. And you can also see how it's just sitting so patchy. Nothing has really seemed to settle and it was so difficult to blend. You can see how crappy my nose looks. I mean, that's pretty awful for a foundation. Around the glasses pads area, it did not survive even for 2 hours. Like, it was just completely destroyed. I can normally get a little bit longer before something like this happens. All of this redness peeking through. This is my other cheek. Like, nothing is sitting well. I just, like, you guys can see this. It's so bad. If you see this foundation, if you see this concealer, I would do a hard pass on it. Save your money. Grab something even more affordable from the drugstore. Rimmel has some great foundations that are $7 to $10. I'd recommend picking that up as opposed to something that's going to run you up $40+. And that's going to do it for this review. I really just want to take this off of my face. It doesn't look like it's going to work any better, and quite honestly, I think I'm just going to take this right back to the store and get my money back. And again, apologies for the low energy in this video. I'm just not feeling great, and I'm sorry for all of the negativity in this one. I couldn't find anything positive outside of this foundation having a pump attached to it. I hope you enjoyed the review. If you did, please make sure you give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you aren't already. You can also connect with me on all of my social media. I am on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I am on Snapchat as well, but I don't really snap anymore. But have no fear, I will link everything for you in the description box below. Thank you again so much for watching. I hope you're having a great day no matter where you are in the world. Stay beautiful, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.